Hello, hello. So it looks like Facebook is it's not there. So I'm not gonna redo this tonight, but I will continue on with everyone else. This is here. I will just share this over to Facebook from YouTube. Facebook is going through some changes with their algorithms and they're doing some weird things because my topics are help folks who are, who have procrastination, and I have folks who deal with, you know, um, perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Those are all apparently no nos on Facebook now, and it's kind of interesting. So, yeah, we will just continue with what we're doing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you folks who are here today. And we are, just in case you're wondering what we're talking about mastering the political play and navigating office politics with confidence. And I have a question out there. So go ahead and answer it for those of you on Instagram. The poll question is how confident do you feel in your political savvy? Answer choices are one, very confident, two, somewhat confident, three, neither confident nor unconfident, four, somewhat confident, and five, not confident at all. So drop a number one, two, three, four, or five. I gotta tell you, fessing up here. Uh I did not do well on I did not do very well on this in my younger years at all, not whatsoever. So I had social anxiety. I have social anxiety. And so for me, political savvy, speaking up, being assertive, not so much, not so much. I knew that when I went on active duty, I was commissioned as a second lieutenant. I knew going in there was office politics, heard about it through my ROTC training. I just was not the person who engaged in politics. I didn't think fast on my feet. And I was kind of the hangback person. Um and I just not so much. Not so much. Um, I wasn't going to be that person who was a talkative person all in front of everybody and whatnot. That wasn't me. That really was not me. So it missed out on a lot of opportunity. And that's why I'm doing this video, because you do miss out on opportunities when you don't understand office politics. You don't have to jump in with both feet and get down and dirty. And that's what a lot of us feel office politics are. For some folks, there are, but not for everybody. And you don't have to lose like your integrity or anything like that with office politics. So yeah, I'm gonna share this in one more place. If I look distracted, I'm trying to talk and walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time. But so yeah, it definitely takes some savvy, right? It takes not a whole lot. You don't have to go to school for years and years, but you have to recognize and understand it. So again, thank you for those of you who are just joining on Facebook. Welcome, welcome for those of you on Instagram and on LinkedIn and on Twitter and on YouTube. Welcome, thanks everybody. And I also want to say welcome to those of you who catch this on the replay. Thank you so much, because so many of you do catch it, especially from around the world, because you're asleep when I'm up, right? So if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Twanna Carter, and as a career coach, I'm a career coach who helps stressed, busy women, managers, and leaders overcome imposter syndrome, self-criticism, and doubts. And I do this by helping them to manage their stress, right? So that they can find peace of mind and focus on excelling in their careers. So if you're just joining me, welcome to Mastering the Political Play, Navigating Office Politics with Confidence. And so let me check my comments over here. So don't have any votes yet. And you can go ahead and vote. For those of you who catch on the replay, please do vote because I still come by and I read all your comments and I respond to them. So thank you. Thank you. Okay. And then also have one more question, right? So this is pretty simple for those of you on Instagram. Drop a raised hand in the comments if you are taught that all you need to do to get ahead is just work hard. I'm gonna raise my hand on that one. Yeah, because I might raise two hands on that one because that's what I was taught. That was a game plan. You get the job, you get your education, you get the job, you put your head down and you work hard and you will succeed. That's all it takes. Nah, not so much. Not so much. And that's why we're here today. So be sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and tap that notification bell so that you won't miss any videos that I drop. Thank you for everyone else who subscribed last week. I think I had about 30 or 40 new subscribers. Keep on subscribing. I'm trying to reach 500. I'm at 520 or 420 when I looked about an hour ago. So thank you for that. Okay. So, as a Black woman, it can be challenging to navigate, right? Those informal and political processes at work. Again, if you were like me, kind of went over my head, didn't even know they were there. And so I do understand and know firsthand that informal political processes at work can be challenging, and they're challenging because Black women face unique things that not everybody else in the workplace necessarily does. Microaggressions, unconscious bias, discriminations, right? And these challenges really can make it difficult to build the relationships that we need to build to get ahead and to feel like we're respected in the workplace, right? But it doesn't have to be this way. And there are some things that Black women can actually do to navigate those informal and political processes that are at work. Okay. And so, well, what are these informal and political processes like? What are you talking about? So, really, I'm talking about the unwritten rules and unspoken agreements that pretty much govern how things get done in an organization, right? And a lot of us don't know when we're new to an organization because why? They're unspoken and typically they're unwritten. Give me a policy. I'm gonna go read it. I'm gonna go find all about it. But it's more challenging because these things are unwritten and unspoken. Okay. And those processes include things like networking and who to build the right relationships with and building relationship, with your key stakeholders and who participates in the decision making processes, right? I remember I was at a job and I'm not a nurse, but I was working with someone who was a nurse coordinator. She was the director there. And she asked me what I wanted to do, where I saw my career going. She says, okay, so you need to speak to Dr. B about that. I know Dr. H is in charge, but he has no idea. You want to speak to Dr. B. He's the assistant, but he has his hand pulse on everything and everybody. And you need to speak to this person. So, you're going to a workplace, you would think the person in charge would have their pulse, their hand on the pulse of everything. And it was not. She was like, no, he's assistant. He's been here longer. Dr. H has only been here like 3 or 4 years. Dr. B has been here 15 years. He knows it all. He knows everything and he will connect you with the right persons. That's the value of, right, those unspoken and unwritten things. The reason why you need to understand office politics, right? And so there again, these processes, informal processes and political processes, that office politics, right? They're important because there's valuable information there. There are valuable resources there. And there are opportunities that you will miss when you don't know it. Okay. They can also help you build relationships with the people who are going to help you advance your career because no, you can't just go in and work hard, put your head down and work hard and just automatically get ahead. Maybe once upon a time, I know that was true, but not so much now. Right. So if you don't understand how to master office politics and build political savvy, you can end up one of those women, and I've spoken to them, right? They're spinning their wheels 5, 10, 15, 20 years in an organization, not understanding why they didn't get promoted, right? And they know that they know what they know because, well, they train their all the directors and they train the executive directors and they train the VPs and they train the CEOs. They train all of these people and they watch them get promoted and they can't figure out why not me when I know what they know because I taught them, right? That's what happens when you don't understand, right? Office politics. You sit and spin your wheels not understanding. And this is why so many managers and leaders and executives invest in career coaches. Because you don't want to spend 20 years in before you go, what? There's office politics in here. You just had to get to know this person to get ahead. That's 20 years wasted, 20 years too long. And again, I've already mentioned that Black women do face these unique challenges in navigating the informal and those political processes at work. And some of these challenges include, and I do have some videos about this microaggressions, and I'll link to those in the comments, right? So Black women often experience microaggressions at work, and I like to say also macroaggressions, just out and out racism, right? Such as things like microaggressions, being interrupted at work, having your ideas being dismissed, or anything you say, any work project you give be dismissed. You're like, yeah, whatever, so what? And microaggressions can make it difficult for you to feel respected and valued in the workplace. And there's also that unconscious bias. This is an unconscious bias that we face it. People don't always know what they're doing. It doesn't make it right because they don't know, but it can lead to Black women feel like they're overlooked for opportunities, and they often are. Sometimes they're unfairly treated, or they're held to different standards than their white counterparts. And of course, there's also the discrimination. And Black women can get discrimination. If you're over 40, you can get discrimination. There's so many ways you can get discriminated, but being Black and being over 40, it just starts to compound, like it's a synergy that happens, right? And it makes it difficult sometimes for you to even access those, informal politics processes, right? And then that discrimination can also lead to Black women not getting promoted, being denied promotions that you're qualified for. Why? Because you train all the people who actually got the job, right? Or being fired for unfair reasons. And because Black women, experience microaggressions and unconscious bias and discrimination in the workplace, many of us get frustrated. And I have clients that walk in and just frustrated. I'm so tired, and their comments like, I don't want to know these people on a deeper level. I don't even want to see them when I'm off the job. I really don't care because they're so frustrated. It's like, I don't even like these people. Now you want me to go and network with them and learn? I don't want to do that. But you have to learn the office politics, right? To know the right people to ignore, because there are some people you should ignore, and the right people that you need to make those contacts with, right? So that's why you have to learn how to navigate, those the office politics at work. You have to learn that. And so there are some things that you can do, right? All is not lost. There's some things that you can do to navigate those informal political processes, right? And here are a few tips. Build relationships with key stakeholders. It's so important, right? To do that within your organization. And sometimes you'll need to do that with an adjacent organization, one that's laterally adjacent, or the one that's ahead of you, right? This could include your managers, your team members, and other people in the department. And don't look over your administrative assistants. I want to tell you, I learned that, and I'm telling you, I stuck to that, right? I was in one workplace and it was pretty tough because I worked in the field, so I wasn't in the office to necessarily navigate the office politics. I wasn't there long enough. But when I tell you, I brought my these administrative assistants, I brought them donuts, I brought them things, and I made sure I took care of them. And if they were overwhelmed and I was waiting on the client, I was behind that desk helping them answer phones and fielding, customer complaints and stuff like that, because I wanted someone to look after me when I wasn't in the office. And so I would get those, Miss Carter, let's go for a walk together. And they would fill me in on what was going on. They would tell me what happened while I was out in the field. So don't think that people have to have rank for you to respect it and build, relationships with, your administrative assistants are gold. They're solid gold, right? And so definitely they help you stay informed. At least mine did. Okay. You also want to be proactive. Don't just wait for opportunities to come. Be proactive and seek out the opportunities. Get involved in projects or committees, certain initiatives. A new initiative is coming out. Have your hand in the pot, the first one to do it, right? Don't have to wait. This way you're gaining visibility. You don't have to be on a desktop saying, everybody, look at me, I'm here. But people will see you're visible. They see your work and you're making contacts as you do this, right? The next one, of course, is be visible. Make sure you're visible in your organization. And this is one that I struggle with as someone with social anxiety. I did not want to be visible. I wanted to melt into that background. And if you need me to help, I'm going to jump in and help. But I wasn't going to be out and visible. So that was a huge mistake that really cost me for the first 10 to 15 or so years of my career. Right. So do speak up in meetings. If it's nothing more to say, yeah, I agree with such and such, maybe you didn't come up with the idea, but you can second that or you can add to that idea. And you don't want to be the person coming up with the idea sometimes as well. Okay. Again, being visible helps you build relationships with people. And if perchance you're like me, you don't speak up in the meeting, but you have something to add, when it's over with, go find the person who was talking. Go, tell your ideas, the insights you had, because people can respect that, right? It's great. So Joan Smith has a book, What Works for Women at Work, and that's one of the things that she says: build allies in the room, who will second you or say, hey, actually, Twanna just said that. I'm so glad you agree with her idea. And that takes the pressure off you for feeling like you got to do all of the speaking up. Like, you'll learn how to, but as you get comfortable with it, it doesn't seem as hard. And also, you'll want to be assertive, right? Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Speaking up for yourself and advocating for yourself is not synonymous with conceited and arrogant. Okay, they're not synonymous. They're totally different things. So it's okay to speak up and advocate for yourself. If you got it, ideas, put them in there. Share the ideas. If you oh, I hate to speak up in the office, if you're one of those organizations, you're in one of those that they send you the notes ahead of time, make notes on that and then zing that back, right? And if perchance, because this will happen, I've seen it, someone else takes your idea for their own. They're like, I sent that idea. You can say, I sent that idea to such and such. I'm so glad you agree with it. I really did think that was a great idea. So you can use those ploys to take back your power, right? Being assertive will help you get ahead in the workplace. It's not the same as aggressive. When you're aggressive, you see folks who are aggressive, they don't care about other people's feelings. So that's a huge difference between being assertive because you're respecting the other person, you're also respecting yourself and you're expecting respect versus being aggressive, just stepping all over people because you really don't care how they feel. Okay. Now, those are some tips, but I got some additional tips for you. I want to tell you, right? So, for Black women navigating those informal and political processes, here's another 3 tips. Do find a mentor. Anytime I talk about get a mentor, I say this: get a mentor, get a mentor, get a mentor, get a mentor, get a mentor. Okay. A mentor can be invaluable to you as a resource in knowing how to navigate those political and those unspoken and those unwritten rules in the office, right? They can provide you with support and guidance and advice. Okay. Now, if you'd like me to do a separate series of videos on how to find a mentor, let me know in the comments. If I get enough people that are interested, I'll do a series of videos, live videos, or videos about how to find a mentor. It's important to know you can have more than one, and they don't have to be in your organization, right? So I've had mentors in my organization and I've had mentors outside, and I've had 2 mentors at once. You can do that. Okay? Because here's the thing, when you have a mentor, you get access to your mentor's network. And that's it can exponentially expand your network. So you have 2 mentors, you get like 2-3 times. I'm just saying, be an overachiever. You can get more than 1 mentor, right? Also, I encourage you to join groups. You can join employee resource groups at your job. Okay. Also you can do things like I was a program analyst at one point. Well, there's an association for program analysts. I was a financial management analyst at once. Well, there are associations for that. So you can join in support groups there and get guidance and support as needed, right? You can also join groups on LinkedIn like BWise, Black Women in Science and Engineer. It is a phenomenal group for those of you in tech. You want to connect with other women who believe, see things, think like you do. And I'm a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta, right? All of these groups, they provide a safe space for you to connect with other Black women and share experiences, and you have shared experiences so that you don't feel like you're isolated and you're alone. And finally, do take care of yourself. If you're stressed out and you can't think, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're going to make piss poor decisions, because we all do when we don't have enough sleep and we don't eat right. We're not taking care of ourselves. So it's important that you take care of yourself, right? This means getting enough rest, and there are 7 different types of rest, getting enough sleep, and getting enough exercise or moving your body, and eating appropriate diet for what is for you, right? And it's also important to find those healthy ways to manage your stress, right? So mastering office politics at work can be challenging for Black women, but it's not impossible, right? And it's just important for you to remember you're not alone. A lot of us had that struggle, and a lot of us are having that struggle. That's why I'm doing these videos, because I'm running into more and more folks that have that struggle. Okay. And also, take that off as well. There are these things you can do. You've got several tips here that you can do to navigate it and feel successful and feel confident as you learn about your organization. Because again, this stuff is not written down anywhere. You only get it passed from word from one person to the other person, right? And so definitely, meet with those key stakeholders, be proactive, be visible, be assertive, and find support groups who can support you to help you to succeed. So I am happy to answer any questions that you have about navigating office politics. Period.com, especially as Black women, because we have a little extra added in there, but nothing we can't take on and we can't handle. Okay. So do leave your questions and your comments below, and I will definitely answer those. Okay. So I do appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope that this video was helpful. And please do subscribe to my channel for more videos about career coaching, right? And success for Black women. And also, I do want to share just a couple of more tips before I go. Let me say this before I go, right? Be authentic. Don't be someone you're not. Be authentic, right? Because you are what makes the workplace special, not because you're you pretending to be someone else, right? And besides, you don't want to deal with the stress of being fake all day long. We do enough code switching. We're trying to get over that whole thing with code switching. So don't be fake. Be yourself, right? Do be confident. Believe in yourself and your abilities. If you don't believe in you, then how do you expect someone else to believe in you? Okay. And don't let anyone tell you can't achieve your goals. Right. Because I tell folks, I took speech classes as a child. So, yes, I was one of the special ed kids that they pull out of the room to teach me how to talk. And I sit here today talking to you, and I could not do this. My teens and much of my 20s, I couldn't do this. Right. And people will tell you what you can't do, but you don't have to live down to their expectations. You live up to what you choose to do. You should be the only person to ever assign your value and your worth. Never let anybody do that for you. And then finally, be resilient. Okay. Yes, there will be setbacks along the way, but don't give up. Do the win or learn. What can I learn from this, or what can I win from that? And then keep that moving. So navigating, informal and political processes at work, yeah, it's challenging, but not one you can't surpass, right? You're not alone. And by following these tips that I've shared today, you can build those key relationships and understand and seek the people who can help you to succeed. And remember, you're capable, you are worthy, and you are absolutely enough. So I do invite you to read my blog for additional tips on navigating office politics with confidence. I've got it's just chock full. I'm going to pop that in the comments and you have that there. And so thank you so much for watching my September series of videos, the lives this month. It was all about networking, up, down, round, side, all about networking. If you missed one of the videos, don't worry, got you covered. Just look for my playlist called Networking, and you can catch all the videos, including the replay for this. It will be there as well. And I do want to say one more time, thank you for the folks that catch this on the replay. You guys are awesome. So next week we start again. It is a new month, and I have some new things for you for the month of October. So do subscribe to my channel. Be right back here next week, same bat time, same bat place, 8:35 Eastern time, 7:35 Central, and then 5:35 on the Pacific Coast. I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.